Hi, it's Stacey McLean here, author, speaker and Christian life coach. This is part two on my series of videos just talking about how to write a book. So I'm on this journey to write my fourth book at the moment, and so I thought I'd share with you these quick videos just about the process that I'm going through as I plan, prepare and write and then self-publish. So hopefully there's a few tips in there that you might get from this process. So the last video we talked about actually preparing and finding your why, and also coming up with a working title and setting yourself a deadline by booking in an editor. So after you've done that process, the next process is to actually make a clear plan. And I don't at this stage just sit down and write. I like to kind of get all my plans out in a visual form in front of me and then clarify them into a structure for the book, so that I can be quite clear when I sit down to write and I don't waste too much time. So the first thing I do is what we call a brain dump. So you will see here, I've just kind of done a real basic one here for you. So the working title of the book is in the middle, and the book I'm working at the moment is about warriors and being a warrior. So then I look at just jot down every idea I had. So no editing at this stage, just any idea, any verses that I have, any stories that I think might fit. I don't analyze them or see whether they'll fit in or check at this stage. I just write down everything, any idea that comes into my head concerning this topic or what I think this book might be about. So it's about jotting everything down. So I will put metaphors or just words or stories that come into my head, Bible verses, concepts, just anything that could be to do with that book. So at this stage I have a list of a whole lot of things. So some of the stuff will not end up in the book, but some of it will, and some of it will just clarify my ideas. And then from that process, I can come and create a more formal structure. So because I write Christian non-fiction, I generally follow a similar structure for a book. So with an introduction and a conclusion and around 10 chapters. Give or take. So it just depends on how that flows from the book once I get going. So within those 10 chapters, then if the structure of the book feels like it, I will divide it into parts. So my first book was in 3 parts, my second book was in 4 parts, and my third book was actually just the 10 chapters, and that was kind of right for those books. So this particular book that I'm writing now, I think is going to sit nicely with 4 parts, with 4 different concepts to look at, and then a couple of chapters in each bit, each part or each major concept that I'm looking at. So then I'll look at all these other words that I've got here, and look at the things that I can put into these chapters of where they would fit in. So maybe I might think my first part I need to talk about hope, so I could put hope in here in this part. And then when I'm looking here, I think, well, I like this story about being on a roller coaster, and would that fit in with hope? It might fit in with what I want to say about hope, so I could put that there. The second part might be something about trust, and talking about having a trust in Jesus. And so I might think about, oh well, there's a story here that I put down about Jesus talking to the woman in the well, so that would fit nicely into this part. So that could be my story to go in with this part. And or the last part 3 might be about struggles, and I have the story, this metaphor up here about flying. That could be something that would be quite good in this part. So as I go through, I'll take these ideas here and see if they fit into this. And then when I've got all these ideas in this columns sorted, then I can kind of step back and look at the book in a whole and see whether it all flows together, if it makes sense, and if it comes back to my why and my audience. Is this book meeting that goal of why am I writing this book and who am I writing it for? And it gives it so much structure. It also means that when I sit down to write with the next step, I can sit down and go, okay, I'm writing part 1, and these are the kind of things, this is the topic of part 1, and these are the things I want to include. So I've already got my ideas quite clarified and ready to go. And it makes the process of actually sitting down and writing much easier, and it flows much quicker. And we'll talk about that in the next video. So until next time, live your life with hope, freedom, and happiness.